Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and some more bolt action market garden coverage. It has been way too long since we've had our last video on this, so we're going to be fixing that here very shortly. So we're going to have today's video, and then we're going to be rolling out several more in quick succession, just so we can get close to wrapping this particular campaign book up, because we've been at it for a long time and working on then getting into another one and some other bolt action coverage in general for you guys. So scenario 14 here, crossing the Utrechtsweg. So this is an encounter game, should be played with two forces of same strength for players, if players are not using the War in a Small Space campaign option from the book. Now the British force should basically have a small points advantage of around 10% or so to offset the lack of free artillery spotter. The forces are far too close to one another to risk a barrage of any kind, since even the most skilled observers and gunners can't just pinpoint that given this time in history. So the setup, basically two parallel rows of houses. So we're going to see this over the next few scenarios as well, but pretty easy to accomplish with various sets of houses. Does mean it is another one of those sort of heavy terrain demanding scenarios though to set up. So, but you could space it out a little bit more if you're just lacking the quantity of buildings yet. But something along these lines should be pretty cool. So then a straight road or a winding one is equally valid, but important that the building should be laid out roughly symmetrical so that no force has one major advantage really as far as the terrain goes. Moreover, the buildings don't have to be of similar size, but again, should be a balance basically. So it shouldn't be like one side has all the tall houses and then the other is short, or just things like that. So again, try to keep it balanced. So basically a symmetrical board is what you're aiming for. Now the first turn on this one, both forces start the game on the table in turn one in the backyards of the opposing rows of houses, must be out of sight of the enemy. So as usual, a run move must be used to enter a building. So duration here, pretty straightforward stuff for the most part. Street fighting is exceptionally bloody and exhausting. If at any point in the game one side is reduced to 30% or less of its original strength, the game is over. Otherwise, continue until the end of turn 6, at which point both sides are assumed to have reached the limits of their endurance. So it's just a flat-out normal turn 6 game. At max victory, if neither party has been reduced to 30% of the original strength in 6 turns, it's then just basically decided by the loss of activation dice, as usual in bolt action fashion. So here, this is purely a kill the other team type of scenario. So pretty straightforward stuff here. Fun to do some variations, of course, on this, right? You could work in night fighting, which always makes it a little bit more desperate, but very nasty and up close as well. So some other things, of course, to consider, not necessarily making it market garden specific, but just this same idea for a scenario. So, laying this out, but then playing with some optional rules for other theaters. So, could this be in winter? Could we work in some other weather type of situations? Could we, not that it would necessarily be the case all the time, but something vaguely similar for like a Pacific campaign, maybe a small village of some sort. So just different ways to go about this. Could be maybe something in the desert somehow, or Italy. There's just all kinds of ways that you can go about messing with this. So, you could have different elevations across this, right? Who says this has to be a perfectly flat area? It could be like a hill on one side of the town and then it kind of goes down, or something in the middle and then more outskirts on either lower level field, or multiple elevations, right? So there's just all kinds of cool things to consider there. But let us know your thoughts here, guys, if you've played Crossing the Utrechtsweg, and if you have any thoughts on that, how that's played out. Seems like a pretty straightforward scenario in contrast to some of the others that we've seen. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, check out our Patreon. There's going to be some cool things coming up for Bolt Action in the very near future on that. Just not quite ready for it as of yet. But we're looking forward to bringing you some things, and also coming up very soon some gameplay, just wrapping up some paint jobs on our various forces. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, guys.